Hey, everybody, how are you? It is Danzy here at coffeewithkenobi.com live. Excited, of course, because it's Monday, and you know what that means, CWK Live, right here every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, Facebook Live. I am your host, Danzy. That on-air sign, Terry, that is not new. I actually got that from my wife for Christmas a couple of years ago, and every time it's time to go live and put on the show or do the podcast or do our pour-over thing that we do for Patreon, I turn that on the outside of the studio. Killian, hello, buddy. Interesting day for the Cubbies today. Very interesting day. Well, it's good to see everybody again. This is Dan Z here at Facebook Live. Got a fun show for you tonight, of course. I mean, I know it's a big deal, and it's a great time to just kind of let our hair down and talk some Star Wars. So welcome back. Daniel, good to have you. Minta is back, so always good to have Minta back in the fold. The CWK Cafe is bursting with excitement because we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite Star Wars sound effects. But you know me, I always am trying to reinvent things and keep things fresh. So we have a little bit of an intro before we go into who's or what's brewing in the world of Star Wars. But then I thought, you know what? Tom Kane years ago recorded a bunch of audio for us. Tom Kane, of course, is this amazing actor and performer, and he does the voice of Yoda for Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Star Wars. Well, no, actually, that would be Frank Oz who does Rebels, but he does it for the Clone Wars. He does it for a lot of video games, and of course, he has that great opening narration voice. And he recorded something for me. He recorded a lot for me, but here's something he recorded that I don't know why I don't play before we do Who's Brewing.
And now, let's see what's brewing in the Star Wars universe this week.
That's right, he recorded that just for us. We got to bring that in. And Brian, how are you, buddy? Nice to have you here. Yes, look at the All-Stars in the Cantina tonight. Tom, of course, now we're All-Stars because we got you here, buddy. David, good to see you. Daniel, of course. Killian. Greg. Terry. Make sure I say hi to everybody. Mary, always good to see you. Minta, of course. Very good. All right. Tom Kane is awesome. So, speaking of awesome, remind me to talk later about Tyler. In fact, I'm going to talk about it in about a minute. But let's get into this brand new little intro, and then we'll see what's brewing in the world of Star Wars. All right, love it. Yep, that was a little intro. Some of those you might recognize if you've been a follower of Coffee with Kenobi for a long time. It was an intro that we did for our CWK coffee break, which was a YouTube thing I used to do a couple times a week. And then I kind of forgot about it. But we've obviously upgraded quite a bit with the studio. Hopefully the lighting is a lot better. I'm going to post a picture on Facebook. It's already on our Coffee with Kenobi Twitter account, where it just kind of shows what the setup looks like. So everyone loves it. Thank you, David. Thank you, Minta. Thank you, Daniel. Ross, hey, man, good to see you. All right, so what's brewing in the world of Star Wars today is I've got a bunch of stuff to show, a little bit of show and tell, a lot of random stuff. First, I'm gonna give Tyler Pompa a huge thank you. Thank you so much, my friend. So Tyler knows how much I love Hondo Ohnaka, and he went to a Target in the area, and he found the Black Series Galaxy's Edge Hondo. Look at that. I love this box here. It's got that Galaxy's Edge coloring. And it's got that great Galaxy's Edge sticker right over here. So he sends me a Facebook message and he says, do you want this? I got one for you. So I said yes. Sent him a quick thank you. And then he dropped it off at school today. So Tyler, thank you so much, man. Talk about an MVP. That is a great collectible. And Mason right away said, aren't you going to open it, Daddy? Hondo's your favorite. He's your favorite character. And I said, well, I can't open it. That would break the rules, wouldn't it? But again, thank you, Tyler, so much. It was super cool of you. What a great surprise. Also, here's some fun stuff here. Yeah, very awesome. Very awesome. They have Hondo. They have a Mountain Trooper, which is fairly newish. And they had Cardinal. And then they had Rex, DJ Rex from the Cantina. So Tom agrees. Way to go, Tyler. Dan was on Cloud 9 all day. I was so excited to go to the front and check this thing out. Boom. There he is again. Tyler says, happy to help. I got mine right next to me. I had to let mine breathe, but I kept the box. See, Mason said, just keep the box, Daddy. But it looks so nice in that Galaxy's Edge thing. I just can't do it. All right. Regular teachers just get an apple. That's funny, Greg. I like that. Cardinal, yes. Captain Cardinal is a great looking figure. Basically, it's Phasma, but in red. But a great character for Galaxy's Edge for sure. All right, not Galaxy. Well, I'll just show you all the Galaxy's Edge goodies that I got. So this Tom will like especially. I meant to tell you, these are Sabacc shaped playing cards. They are not Sabacc. They're not the Sabacc deck, but they're regular cards, but they're shaped like Sabacc cards. And you can see we've got the regular suits on here, but really, really cool. There's quite a few of them. I think it was $5.99. Got the Galaxy's Edge right here. So I definitely had to get that. I just think it's really, really slick because I just love the shape of these things. They're really, really, really nice. Other fun stuff. This is coming out tomorrow. Everybody's about to get really jealous. Del Rey sent me, boom, the new Thrawn book, Thrawn Ascendancy. But look at the one they sent me. It's got the blue. It's got the blue paper. I'll try to show you without giving away anything in the book, of course. But look at this beautiful. This is like a limited edition, limited run, but it's really great. I'm going to see if I can find a chapter break. I just think they look extra nice. I don't know why. I think it's just really, really bold. But really, really slick. Be sure to get your copy tomorrow. The audiobook is also outstanding. Thrawn Ascendancy. I know Lisa's working on a review for the website, and I will be talking about it on a future show. But be sure to get, if you can find one with the blue, be sure to go ahead and do that because they are really, really cool. All right. Also, something I got from Target, Galaxy's Edge related. And this is something for Deanna and I to work on together, and Mason. But it's a 500-piece puzzle of the Millennium Falcon, the great art from the Millennium Falcon. There's a bunch of different puzzles that they offer, but this is the only one that had the Galaxy's Edge. And again, it's got that beautiful kind of brown, tannish coloring, the Galaxy's Edge. And of course, I'm a sucker for merchandise. Anyway, you put Galaxy's Edge on something, I'm probably going to get it. So, boom. Really nice looking puzzle. Also, something that I got, and we had some great conversation in the CWK Cafe about this. But as many of you know, Funko Pop had some of their collection exclusives coming out. And I missed it on Funko, but I went on GameStop. I had a hot tip of when to look, and boom. Oh man, sorry about the glare, but there it is. The Funko Concept Series Vader. It is a stunning, stunning pop. I don't get a lot of the pops, but this one I couldn't pass up. It's Vader. In fact, I think he's going to have a home right here. Yeah, we'll put him right here for now. Yeah, what a great find. Tyler says, I'm going to have to go back to Target and scope out the rest of the Galaxy's Edge stuff. I was too focused on getting the Black Series before the resellers did. I don't blame you. David, yes, thanks, man. Did you grab one? I know you're a big Funko guy as well. Again, I don't really get a lot of Funkos, but that one I just couldn't pass up. I love Ralph McQuarrie and that look. All right, so this is another fun thing that I got, and I think that's about it for show and tell for today, ladies and gentlemen. But I really watch Big Bad Toy Store a lot. They have some great stuff on there. Usually easier to get things on that website than others, but they have everything. They're like Entertainment Earth. But they have Star Wars Geek Tikis, but this one I got is the Mandalorian. It's the Mandalorian Tiki mug. Of course, I haven't opened it yet. I'm sure I probably will. Just to display it, I highly doubt I'll drink out of it. You can also get the Child and IG-11. Oh, I really like how the lighting's a lot better now that I'm glad I can do this without it blinding everyone. But that's kind of what they all look like on the back. But this is fun, and I'm pretty sure the Big Bad Toy Store still has them, but they are by Geek Tiki. This is the Mandalorian. So I know if Corey's watching, I know he's going to be jealous of this too. So I'll put him over here as well. All right, lots of goodies. I know, super fun. Why does this feel like Christmas? Believe it or not, one of the great things about hosting Coffee with Kenobi and the great things that come with that is that either I get lots of fun stuff in the mail as long as I talk about it, which of course I'm happy to do so. The dark side has chocolate cookies. It's true. It is true. I hope you get one. Looks good. Mine just came in today too. See, Simbot knows. Simbot is awesome. He's a huge collector and a very, very good friend. And so it was great. Simbot and I were certainly getting each other pumped up and excited to try to get those Funko Pops. And I know Corey was too. Show and Tell does take time off of CWK top billing. No way, man. Tom's the heart and soul. You can make some of the Galaxy's Edge drinks. Oh, that's a good idea. We're going to get the Mandalorian Season 1 vinyl set. Now, see, that would be fun. I wish I could be like, here, look at this. Boom, all 8. I haven't looked into that yet, but if I do, Terry, I will certainly be proud to show that. Getting the vinyl would be a really, really cool thing. All right, I love it. So I think that's the main stuff. Yeah. I think that's all we'll show for today. So let's go ahead and jump in to our top 5 for this week. I need a fancy little sort of a transitional video for top 5. So maybe somebody wants to make a fun little 10-second one. The top 5. I love it. Ross, looking at you, buddy. You're Mr. Talent with the video for sure. Here we go. Top 5. Today's top 5, again, is our top 5 Star Wars sound effects. Now, this was not easy, was it? I love that we keep saying that. It means we've got good top 5s, and it also means that we're putting a lot of weight into this, trying to figure out what is going to be sort of the way to make it entertaining for you. And I like it to be challenging. I want you to think, even though it's not like we're splitting atoms or evaluating, Hamlet's level of sanity in Act 3 of the play Hamlet, but we are talking about things that inspire and move us and are just fun. So full disclosure, I didn't create MP3s to play of the sounds, but I think you're going to know the sounds we're talking about. And Mason has a top 5 too that I've got written down on my phone. So let's do this. Top 5 favorites. Oh, where'd my comment box go? I'll have to get that back. 1 second. I lost all of your comments. Let me get those back. I really want to see them. That would be very beneficial. Here we go. Comment box. Sorry if you were saying something now. I'm not able to see it because for some reason my comment box disappeared. That's unusual. View. Sorry, everybody. We're going to make this work. I have faith. Camera effects, comments. Here we go. All right, I knew it disappeared, but now we're back. All right, go. Wow, look at this. Everybody got way ahead. So Brian says, love seeing that basketball in the intro. My first official 501st troop was when you got that. Oh, wow. How cool is that, Brian? What a neat thing. Yeah, that was a really special day. That was at ISU, Illinois State University. They honored me at halftime of a men's basketball game for teaching Star Wars. So, Brian, what a pleasure to have you there for that and have you here tonight on Facebook Live with us. Number 5, my number 5, Lightspeed. When we hear punch it, or when Chewie or Han reaches up and grabs those 3 toggles right there and boom, pulls up and you go to Lightspeed, or if you get to experience Smuggler's Run, Millennium Falcon at Galaxy's Edge, you know that sensation. But hearing Lightspeed, it's the sound, it's the feel of the gravity. If you're riding the attraction, it's what it looks like. But that sound effect is just so great. And then on the 3 3/4 inch Han or Millennium Falcon that the 3 3/4 inch figures fit in, that's a really fun one because it has that actual sound there. But I love the Lightspeed sound effect. I'd be remiss if I didn't put that. Greg, the first one from our CWK family, look at this. The Wilhelm Scream, a fun find in most of the movies. So why that's funny, Greg, it's especially funny because you pulled it up first, is that Tom said, I wonder if anybody's going to pick the Wilhelm Scream, but he couldn't remember the name. Terry's number 5 is the Mouse Droid. That's fun. It's great. I know when we're saying these, people are going to be thinking of the sounds. Number 5, the TIE Fighter flight sound. I really wanted to put that on there. Certainly an honorable mention. That's a great classic one. And see, Tom says, I knew the Wilhelm would make someone's top 5 for sure. Mary, also the Wilhelm Scream, like so many others. Tom must read all comments. He does. Tom has the TIE Fighter sound. Minta, also the TIE Fighter. The engine just roars through space. It's great. And I believe part of that is the combination of an elephant or a sea lion. Is that correct? Mary says, my 18-year-old son would disown me if I didn't include the Wilhelm Scream. Well, you better put it in there then, Mary. You are officially off the hook. You are not disowned. Tyler says, Ben Solo's lightsaber, much higher pitch than a regular lightsaber. It really stuck out when I saw The Last Jedi and owned his Galaxy's Edge saber. Oh, cool. Tyler, I don't think I was aware that you were at Galaxy's Edge. You'll be sure to post some pictures on the CWK Cafe. I'd love to see them. Ross, all things pork. I smell every time. Sad pork, Ashto, Bonfire, Charging pork, Millennium Falcon are my 2 favorites. Hello, Eric. By the way, everybody, be sure to wish Eric a happy birthday. Today is Eric's birthday. Good to see you here, man. Mason's number 5 sound, and I wrote it down in my notes here, is Jango Fett's seismic charge. That is a big one, and I bet you that's going to pop up. But when you know what it is, in Attack of the Clones, when Obi-Wan is chasing after Jango and Boba Fett through that little asteroid belt, and Jango sets off that seismic charge where there's that wonderful delay, and then boom, the best. And I don't know why. It should have been number 1 for me. I don't know why I didn't think of it. But Mason's number 5 is the Jango Fett seismic charge. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. A lot of birthday love for Eric, and well deserved. Very well deserved. How about when an X-Wing banks when throttling down? That's a good one, Brian. That would be a really good one. Oh, so Tyler, someday you are going to have to go. Hopefully, my dream is that we can maybe have something happen where we all call Mouse Fan Travel and book a trip to Galaxy's Edge once the coronavirus settles down, and just a bunch of us meet there. That would be just so much fun. Yeah, good. Keep the birthday wishes coming to Eric. He deserves it. He's a great guy. All right, so that's my number 5. Mason's is Jango Fett seismic charge. My number 4, and let's see your number 4s as well. My number 4 is the Millennium Falcon engine. Oh, I made it too long. The Millennium Falcon engine, just the roar of the engine when it's flying through space, is just so classic and iconic. And it's one of the sound effects you hear in the transitions at the middle of Coffee with Kenobi. Has been since the beginning, over 7 years ago. It's a great sound effect. It's wonderful little noise. David's number 4 is the R2 scream. That's fun. Number 4 says the porg noise. How can you not adore those little critters? Porg noise, I'm assuming you meant. Yes, for sure. The porg noise are the cutest. Darth Vader breathing. Oh, how could I not think of Darth Vader breathing as one of the options? I can't believe I didn't think of that. That's a great choice. Yeah, don't worry. I'm going to say it wasn't a typo. It was me reading it wrong. So you got it perfect. Very good. All right, so Mason's number 4 is turning off. The sound of turning off a lightsaber, which is great. That's kind of that shh. Yep, see? It sounds just like it when I make the noise. Tyler says number 4, Darth Vader's breathing. Such an iconic sound. I love that you can use it for horror too, for sure. Tom, we're going to get you to Galaxy's Edge soon, buddy. We should have been there already by now, Celebration, but no luck. Ross says, again, Ross, Mr. Deep Cut himself, I love it. Borgullet noises, sliding, breathing tentacles that wraps around Bodhi Rook in Rogue One. It's a horror movie moment in Star Wars Galaxy. But it's so gross. It's like the sound of macaroni being stirred or something. But that's a good deep cut. Mary says, all the droid sounds, especially R2 and BB-8. I could easily have one, Mary, of just droid sounds, undoubtedly. Brian says, I'm surprised nobody called out Luke's exhale when he sent the torpedoes down the shaft. Oh, interesting. Interesting option. Tom, the cannons on the Ghost, I swear they're the sounds of pinball flippers. I think that Filoni somehow incorporated some of the classic sound effects from the old Kenner starships and somehow included that into the Ghost as well. I swear I saw that in a Rebels reactions early on. Eric says X-Wing laser. I'm assuming you're number 4, Eric. That's a good choice. As I said, Mason's number 4 was turning off his lightsaber. So let's go in to our number 3. Number 3 for me, Probe Droid. I love that sound. I mean, even the sound of it kind of hovering around before it even communicates, kind of that sort of that whirling noise. I can't even really describe it, honestly. But it's just this great sound. It's hovering over the frigid world of Hoth, the tundra there and the ice. It's so good. So good. David Nicely, at Walking. That's a great one. I thought for sure that was going to show up. Tyler, you will get to go there someday. It's going to be amazing. Minta says the Wookiee call. Love it. Terry says the Millennium Falcon flyby, which was my number 4. Very good. Meditative sound, the probe droid. Yeah, I guess it kind of is. Ooh, Mary's number 3 is the pew pew, which is, of course, the classic blaster sound. You could easily think about this, you could probably get your top 5 sounds from Star Wars from the first 30 minutes of A New Hope, or maybe even a little bit more. Maybe about an hour in. Number 3 for Tom is the Guns of the Droideka. That's a fun one. That's a really fun one. There's so many. There are so many. You could do a top 50 and not even scratch the surface. Greg's number 3, Chewbacca's voice, who hasn't done it. All right. So the benefit that you have is that you can make all these noises and people can't hear you. So if you make a fool of yourself, it doesn't matter. I'm going to make a fool of myself publicly. And make the Chewbacca noise. That's my Chewbacca. I don't even know if that's even how I normally do it, but the pressure was on. You know what I mean? Just kidding. I had pressure for breakfast. Tyler's number 3. Zan Wessel's Speeder, a really high whine, but you can tell that thing is booking it around Coruscant. That's a great one. There's so many great sounds in Star Wars. Daniel says the Clone Trooper transport ship. I like that one as well. Tom says great call on the AT-AT walking would have been my number 6. Well, Tom, what's your number 3, buddy? That's what we want to know. Mason's number 3 is the turn on sound of a lightsaber. His 4 was turn off the lightsaber. His 3 was turn on. Of course, his number 5, as I said, was Jango Fett's seismic charge. And again, my number 3, the probe droid. We're flying through these today. Very good. Okay. My number 2. Let's move on to number 2. Stormtrooper Clicks. Now, what do I mean by that? Right before Stormtroopers talk, you just, there's one set for stun. There's like sort of a click in and off of their communicator. And it's just, there's just something so beautiful and rhythmic about it. It just very much reminds me of, I don't know what Star Wars to me. Brian will know what I'm talking about. He's in the 501st, but it's just such a great noise. And followed also by the sound of the boots clicking on the Death Star. I just love those sounds. The Stormtrooper clicks from the boots and from when they communicate at the end of Coffee with Kenobi. We always put, there's no one here. Move along, move along. Just that clicking noise is just so good. Terry, number 2, R2-D2 happy and laughing. David says number 2, the Land Speeder in New Hope. Ooh. Ross, number 2, speeder bikes driving up on Endor, Lothal, or across the sands of Tatooine. Adrenaline rush for sure. Craig's number 2, Boba Fett's spurs. What a light touch, but so appropriate to his character. Yeah, that's fun. It was cool that they added that in there. Mary's number 2, lightsabers turning on, especially the raspy sound of Kylo Ren's. Tom's number 2, the no sound of when Holdo jumps to hyperspace in Snoke's ship in The Last Jedi. I was so stunned. That's a fun one. And remember when that happened, Tom and everybody else, that a lot of people thought there was something wrong with their movie theater, but it was just the way it was produced. Minta's number 2 is Darth Vader's breathing unit, iconic and classic and terrifying, especially in Rogue One. Number 2 for Tyler, R2-D2's panic screams that makes me laugh, especially when he gets launched into the air in Empire. Interesting. Mason's number 2 is General Grievous twirling his lightsabers when he's dueling Obi-Wan Kenobi and he's cutting into the ground there on Utapau. That's a great one. That's Mason's number 2. Brian says Vader's breath. Yes, of course. Vader's breath, Vader's breathing, TIE fighters, lightsabers. These are all very popular ones that people love. So anybody else, feel free to, while I take a drink here, feel free to throw in your number 2s in the chat. All right. Daniel has speeder bikes on Endor. Yes. And Ross mentioned that, I believe, is his number 3. That's a good one. So again, Mason's number 2, Grievous twirling his lightsabers. It's time to jump into our number 1 favorite Star Wars sound effect. For me, it's the ignition of the lightsaber. Just that classic. I mean, there's a lot of different versions of it. The classic one you first hear in A New Hope when Luke turns it on. When Kylo Ren turns his on, especially in The Last Jedi, that growling of that thing, I'm just so drawn to that lightsaber, just so cool. Greg says number 1 has to be Darth Vader breathing. It brings so many things to your imagination just by hearing it. Many a great trailer can be made with just that. Very, very true. It's just iconic Star Wars. Number 1, Mary says Vader's breathing. Cameron, any specific lightsaber? Honestly, I mean, Kylo Ren certainly stands out. Luke / Anakin / Rey's. It always sounds like dramatic, and sometimes they will play with the sound of igniting that lightsaber, especially with Rey in The Rise of Skywalker. The way it turns on kind of measures the level of seriousness in the film at that time, which I think is really, really cool. And that way it can tell a story. Which reminds me, I hope a lot of you got to see or go to Get Vocal yesterday for our Force Fest. I did a panel on the literary language of Star Wars. It was really fun. I'm going to have a copy of that, will probably be the audio for Coffee with Kenobi this week, and we'll have video on our YouTube and Facebook and things like that. But it was great fun, and it reminds me what we're talking about here. Terry says Lightsaber Startup. Daniel says Lightsaber Sweeping Sound. Tyler says Luke's green lightsaber ignition really gives a feeling of power when that blade comes to life. Cameron's number 1 is Kylo's saber ignition. And 1, Obi-Wan for Tom is shutting down the tractor beam on the Death Star. Anytime I shut something off, it plays in my head. Oh, that makes me very happy. That's great. That is a great one. I love that. Ross, number 1, Darth Vader breathing. Most iconic bad guy sound in film history, no doubt. Number 1 for Brian, the Tusken Raider Scream. He's partial to that. That's a good one. I'm guessing you've got one heck of a Tusken outfit there, my friend. Tom says, I never thought of Vader's breathing. I never thought about that either. I don't know why. I think it's because it's so much more than a sound. It's emotion, power, terror. Great number 1 choices. Very good. All right, speaking of number 1 choices, I got to get to Mason's. Mason's number 1 is Jango Fett's blasters. He loves Jango Fett's blasters. The noise of that in Attack of the Clones. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for sharing your top 5 favorite Star Wars sound effects. Next week's top 5, speaking of what Mason's number 1 was, is top 5 blasters. We did top Star Wars lightsabers. The different hilts all have sort of a different flavor, a different feel to them. And I thought, well, we haven't really done blasters. And at first I thought, I'm not really not going to know what to say. But then I realized there's so many different kinds of them, so many different designs and styles. So this is going to be another fun, challenging one as well. All right, so it's time to move on to our next segment. It says Dan Z, but to be honest, it's not going to be Ask Dan Z yet. We've got a bit of a surprise for you tonight. I'm looking forward to it. We have a special guest who's coming in right now. Hey, look, it's Mason Z. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Let me scoot over here so you can come on over. So, how are you tonight?
Good.
Good. So, what are we going to talk about?
Bunch of stuff.
We are going to talk about a bunch of stuff. So Mason is a huge loyal viewer, of course, of CWK Live, and he always prepares his top 5s for us as well. And look at everybody saying, look at, who is it? What's his name? Mason. Hey, Mason. All right. So if you noticed tonight, see what I did there? Isn't that cool? That little light. How you like that? All right. If you'll notice tonight, right before we did the show, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Right before we did the show, I posted, be sure to watch the trailer for Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. It just came out a couple of days ago. And we watched it again. And Greg says, heavy duty trader and Star Wars card trade. Look at everybody saying hi to you, man. Love it. Nice PJs. Yeah, Tom, thank you for letting him borrow your pajamas, buddy. That was nice of you. They're the same size. It's cool. We kid because we love, of course. And he is a Luigi fan. Luigi and Mario. So, we have a surprise top 5 for you. I can't play the trailer on Facebook because they'll probably cut out the sound and shut us down because of copyright stuff. And we respect that. We don't want to do that. Terry says, nice Mario pajamas. Listening to the music in my head right now. All right. He says, I wouldn't let him have the hoodie. Tom, he's big on the hoodie. It's a long story. Listen to CWK Pro, you'll hear all about it. All right. Look at this. Poor Tom. He says, Tom is fun size. All right, so we made a top 5 Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, for our trailer. Because the trailer is funny. It's about 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Tell us what you think about the trailer. It's
very funny.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
Everything.
Everything. So, for those of you who maybe didn't watch it yet, it basically goes, it's going to have all 9 Star Wars films, for the Lego version of it, of course. But it's going to be a little bit different. I mean, it's not going to have Solo or Rogue One, although in the trailer it does show Darth Vader for Rogue One.
Maybe that's when Obi-Wan in A New Hope fights.
Oh, it could be.
Darth Vader.
It could be. You never know. But anyway, so there's a new trailer that's coming out in the spring. It looks very, very fun. Looks like Blake is here. Blake, hello, buddy. Good to have you. We are talking, we have a surprise top 5. It's a top 5 favorite moments from the Lego Star Wars new trailer that came out for the Skywalker Saga. So what is your number 5 favorite? You probably can't read my terrible handwriting.
It's true.
You want me to say what you wrote?
Yes.
So Mason said his number top 5 was Anakin dueling with his lightsaber on Naboo in this trailer. Talk about that.
he with one hand just twirls it around 4 times.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is it shows that it's fun, it's lighthearted, but the graphics for this, they've really stepped it up a notch, I think. I think it looks really good, which leads to my number 5. Well, actually, it doesn't really lead to it all. My number 5 is towards the end of this, they show Han and Chewbacca, and Han Solo says, "Punch it!" And Chewbacca
punches C-3PO and knocks his head off.
And his head goes like this. Spins around, and you laughed, didn't you?
Yes.
It is funny. It is pretty funny, but it just kind of shows the fun and the humor and the way they're able to take a line that's from, 40 years ago and put a new spin on it. I thought that was
And
pretty
Han
cool.
Solo says, "Not him, the Falcon."
Yeah, that's right. He totally does. All right, so number 4 for Mason is, remember in the cantina?
Oh, Han Solo and Greedo. When Han Solo blasts Greedo in A New Hope, so Greedo starts to blast, and Han Solo's like this under the table.
Yeah, they're 2 inches away from each other, and they keep ducking down. It's sort of like a Nerf war.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Made him laugh, so that's good enough for me. My number 4 is the Rey jump. Of course, it's the famous jump in The Rise of Skywalker, but for some reason, it's a Lego game. It's silly. But the way she jumps and the music that accompanies it for the Lego,
She twists her legs back and forth.
yeah, it kind of takes your breath away. It's just really kind of spectacular. It shows that there's some epic nature to this, and it's got some great visuals. And again, the graphics are very cutting edge for a Lego game. I think that's pretty neat. Okay, number 3 for you was my number 5.
Punch it.
Punch it. Anything else you want to say about Punch It?
No.
Okay, you don't want to practice it now, do you? Oh, good thing you went that way.
How about your C-3PO?
Nah, let's not do that. Okay, number 3 for me is the Obi-Wan Backflip against Maul. They show a really quick sequence from the Phantom Menace, and Obi-Wan does a backflip, and it's actually cool. Don't you think? It
almost made my list.
Yeah, it almost made your list. Really? How come it didn't?
I just like other parts better.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
My next one you'll like.
Yeah, it sort of just takes your breath away. You're like, ooh, that's cool. They're going to have some fun stunts. Okay, so number 2, at the end of The Force Awakens / the beginning of The Last Jedi, there's this famous scene where Rey comes up to Luke Skywalker and he suddenly turns around. But what happens in the Lego trailer?
The porgs are stacked up, and then they turn around and you see porgs in the cape.
Yes, the porgs turn around and look.
And then Luke comes out and tries to pull it from him.
Yeah.
He's like...
So it's porgs sitting on top of each other wearing Luke's Jedi robe, and Luke doesn't like them doing that, does he?
No.
No, but it's funny. So that's Mason.
The next one is just the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, the next one, my number 2, is it shows Luke about to jump off of the skiff, off the sail barge, or the skiff, and, hit the basically high dive, the diving board, and do his famous flip in Return of the Jedi. But in this, he stops and takes a big old swig of blue milk, and he's got a blue milk mustache. And it's funny. And apparently there's a deluxe edition that they're going to have that you can buy, and it's going to sell a Lego Luke with a blue milk mustache. Did you know that?
Oh.
Yeah.
You can have him unlocked on the game.
Or and actually a little minifigure of him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, with the blue. Pretty funny.
So both?
So both.
That would be cool.
That would be fun. Okay, so what's your number 1? This is a big one. I think it's pretty top for a lot of people.
Emperor when he shoots his lightning.
Tell them about what happens.
So, Luke says, "I'm a Jedi, like my father before me," at the end of Return of the Jedi. And then the Emperor says, "So be it, Jedi." And he holds up Lego lightning Then he throws it, and then he finally shoots lightning.
Again, classic example of what we're both like. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, it's just funny. It's hilarious. Look at that. And everyone is speechless because they're just glued into what you're saying. You're doing a really good job of describing things. Nice work. Maybe someday you'll be... show them how you talk like me for Coffee with Kenobi.
That's Coffee with Kenobi.
He did that at dinner tonight. We brought some laughs. So that was his number 1. My number 1 is the music. It's the music from the trailer, the teaser trailer to The Rise of Skywalker that they played at Celebration Chicago. And gosh, it just kind of gets you choked up because it's just that great music. And someone manages to make this game give like an epic scope, and it should be epic if it's going to go over the entire Skywalker saga. So, Terry says the Emperor with the Lightning was my favorite too. And Ross, remember we went to Indiana Comic Con and Ross was filming stuff for us?
No.
You don't remember when we made the video?
Mm-mm.
It wasn't that long ago. I'm sure that when I show you the video, you'll remember. Remember we went with Corey and his kids and Tom with his daughter, and we were videoing.
Oh, what did I get? Oh, probably.
I'm not sure what you got, but Ross is the guy who videoed it and is awesome, and he's sending that really cool avocado BB-8 shirt. But he says this is fantastic, great energy, buddy. See, and Ross knows he does a lot of movie stuff. Blake says your shirt is so cool. Greg says Jad might be out of a job because you know who Jad is? James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So you're saying you did a really good job. Minta loves your list. Mary says he is your mini-me. Yeah, we get along pretty well. We have a good time, don't we, pal?
Yeah.
We do. Tyler says that trailer made me pretty excited and agreed on that music. I think that's the greatest trailer music of all time. I totally agree.
I like Transformers more than him, though.
Yes, he does.
Very.
So,
much,
but before you go upstairs and watch some more of this, do you want to show him? He wants to show you this. It's not Star Wars related, but he wants to show you this.
Ultra B.
Ultra B. He just got Ultra B. You want to tell him about it real super fast?
I can transform the 2 arms.
Okay, he's going to transform the 2 arms.
So this one is strong arm.
Yeah.
Flip this up. There's the
Okay.
head. Flip the thumb like that. Push it up. Pull the arms out. Flip that up.
So
there.
that becomes an arm that attaches.
And then you close that. And then flip it around.
I love it.
Then you just sort of transform it back.
Sure.
Come on. Like that.
Okay.
Then the other arm is, you probably know, side swipe.
Yes.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Ross says not Ultra Z. Ooh, that's good. Ultra Z, I think, would be a better sound. More than meets the eye, Greg says. We do have. Very good. All right. Well, hey, Mason, do you want to say anything to everybody before you sign off for today?
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Tell them goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks, Mason.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh, sure.
Wait, let me attach the arms first.
Oh, he's going to show you what he looks like when he's all put together. Next, we're going to do top 5 Transformers. He did want to do that. Don't give him any ideas, Greg.
So, there's a button right here. You push it, his head pops up. Bumblebee's head pops out. You have to push it down. And Drift, the sword, is on the back.
Yeah.
Too.
I love it.
You can, store it back here.
Cool. All right. Bye. Thanks, buddy. Good job. You're a star.
Thank you. And you're a dad.
Yes, I am a dad. It's true. All right. Thanks, everybody. That was so fun to have him on. I got the idea last week when we were watching the Lego trailer together, and he had such a fun, sweet little reaction. I thought, boy, we got to get this guy on camera. A future podcaster in the making? I think so, too. All right. Very good. Well, let's move on here to Ask Dan Z as we get ready to close out the show. I agree. He's been talking about wanting to start a YouTube channel, so we'll see. He's done a couple. If you really like the kind of the fun banter the two of us have, I'm partial to it. We on our YouTube channel, Coffee with Kenobi's YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to, please go ahead and do so. If I get to, I think, 1,000, and it's not like something I've really cultivated heavily, but since we've been doing live, I always put these videos on YouTube afterwards and on Instagram as well. But the more subscribers we get, the more options I have to promote it. So that would be really, really great if you could do that. All right, so we know that next week is going to be top 5 Star Wars blasters. But what questions do you have? Again, as I said, for this week, I had on Sunday, I was able to be a part of the Force Fest. I talked about Star Wars literary language. That video and audio is going to be available this week. So be sure to check it out. We raised over $3,000 for the Make-A-Wish Greater Los Angeles areas, which was wonderful. And speaking of wonderful, the CWK Alliance hats, we met our goal. It's still open until September 10th, so you basically got 10 days after tonight to go ahead and order your hat. I mean, we originally, I think you have to get 30 or 28 to get them printed, and we've hit that, but I think we have the option for up to 50. So there's still a couple out there. So if you're interested, go ahead and click on the link here, or you can see it on the front of our webpage, coffeewithkenobi.com, naturally, and you can certainly find it, on our Twitter feed and all that good stuff too. But our webpage always has got the latest news and press releases and different blogs and reviews and things like that. And Lisa really helps me to make that amazing, and she's definitely the mastermind behind that. But as far as what's going on this week for Coffee with Kenobi, we had Star Wars Celebration behind the scenes last week. We shared our favorite memories, and James Burns was on, and Tom was back with the news. And these are just different pictures over the years of different events I've covered. So James Burns of Jedi News, the editor-in-chief of Jedi News, joined me so we could talk about what it's like if you're a content creator, a website creator, if you run a podcast, if you're a Star Wars influencer or whatever, what is it like to cover an event like this? And obviously I've covered quite a few of them, and they're great fun, but it's kind of fun to share those stories for sure. So I think that's enough for kind of the promo type things. LJ says all the cool kids are buying them, and he is certainly one of the cool kids. Tyler got his hat ordered, which is awesome. Mary, thank you so much. Force Festival was well done. It really was well done. Richard and Sarah Wolosky did a wonderful job making that happen. Blake wants to know what was my favorite Hasbro announcement that they made recently. I mean, for me, it's still the 3 3/4 inch Hondo that he's coming out. I do like that they have the Tandem 4 hallway. I think that's pretty slick. What about you, Blake? What was your favorite? Tyler says, I know you're a huge Disney fan, much like myself. Well, I haven't been to Batuu yet. I know much about it. What would you think about a nighttime show with saber duels, much like they did at the Rise of the Resistance opening, but on a larger scale? Well, that, Tyler, I think would be great fun. I think that would be great fun, and I really hope, if you read the Guide to Batuu written by Cole Horton, they talk about 3 different holidays, and Jim Hill and I talked about that in looking at Lucasfilm, and we're hoping that they will do special things themed around the holidays. Like, I know my money is, besides that nighttime show with lightsabers, which I think would be gorgeous. And when you go to Galaxy's Edge, obviously you have to go during the day, but when you go at night, it's a whole different experience. Just the lighting and the way the Falcon looks, with the way that they have it lit up, and just the atmosphere, and it's just lovely. So I hope that happens, Tyler. That would be great. That would be great. Blake says all the Black Series. Tyler says he's got the hat and the book under. Well, Terry, thank you so much, dude. I really, really appreciate you, and I appreciate you doing that so much. All right, any other questions for me? While you're debating that, if you want to find another way to support Coffee with Kenobi, please feel free to become a member of the CWK Alliance at www.patreon.com/coffeewithkenobi. That is where you get access to our exclusive weekly podcast, CWK Pour Over, hosted by myself, Tom Gross, and Corey Clubb. This week we looked at the DC fandom event, and next week it is a pretty powerful one where you're going to laugh. You may get some tears. It's going to be all kinds of interesting emotions, because I made a list of questions that I didn't warn them in advance, and they have to talk about them, and it was really, really, really fun. Tyler says that Cad Bane Deluxe is beautiful. It really looks sharp. Blake says he did Rise of Resistance for the first time last weekend. What was your most jaw-dropping moment of that ride? Well, Blake, what did you think, man? I'm glad you got to see it. It's an amazing, amazing attraction. Honestly, inside the ride itself, seeing the ads are pretty breathtaking. But I just I don't want to ruin one of the effects, but at some point you end up on a Star Destroyer. That whole thing is amazing. That might be my favorite part, even more so than the ride. Just, you feel like you are literally in a Star Wars movie. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to take my family to it someday. Such a cool thing. So cool. Any other questions for me? I'm always happy to answer any questions that I can about this, for sure. Speaking of answering questions, if you are someone that is starting a blog or a podcast, or you already have one and you want to expand your reach, build your brand, be sure to go to dancmedia.com. I am happy to help you get that process started and help you take your first step into a larger world. That is also, by the way, if you or someone you know is looking to book a speaker for an event, I am happy to come to your school, organization, or wherever the case may be and help get that process started for you. I've got a number of prepared presentations and talks, and I'm happy to do lots of great fun. Well, next week, speaking of great fun, as I mentioned, we're going to be looking at your top 5 favorite Star Wars blasters. I always try to throw in some surprises at the end, but that's going to be the main thing that we're going to look at for sure. It's always fun to share Monday nights with you at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time again this week. Be sure to tune in to Coffee with Kenobi on Thursday. Everywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can hear Coffee with Kenobi. And next week, bring a friend. Bring a friend with you to CWK Live every Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. It is so fun to share this microphone with you, and the more people we have, the more perspectives and points of view we get here at Coffee with Kenobi. Thanks so much, Kato. Yeah, Blake, we got to talk about that, man. In fact, if we go back and do another Rise of the Resistance, Rise of the Resistance trial, let's have you on and talk about that, because it's an amazing. And don't you really feel like you're in the world of Star Wars? There's absolutely no doubt about that. Greg, you have a great week. Meantime, this is the way. Mary, thank you so much. As always, it's a pleasure to chat with each and every one of you about Star Wars. Have a great week and weekend. A big thank you to my special guest co-host tonight, Mason Zare. He did an awesome job. I'm so proud of that little boy. He's got a good heart and he's so good at expressing himself. I'm very lucky to be his dad. So thanks you all for your kindness and generosity to him and to me on Coffee with Kenobi. Everywhere you support me in the show means the world to me. Speaking of that, I can't believe I forgot this last week, but don't forget to pre-order the Star Wars book, October 20th, 2020. My goodness, we're less than 2 months from the book coming out. I am excited to see what you all think about that. Until next time, everybody, this is the podcast you're looking for. Thank you so much.